Well, time to dip into the Championship now, and we start with a massive match in the capital. The first ever Edinburgh derby in the league outside the top flight took place this lunchtime. Bragging rights plus precious Championship points on offer. At a pulsating Tynecastle for us was Rob McLean.
Hearts have a goalkeeper crisis. Neil Alexander has a broken cheekbone, then Scott Gallagher twisted an ankle. So 20-year-old Jack Hamilton is given a debut in the derby. Hibs have defender Paul Hanlon injured. Michael Nelson takes his place in the back four, and Paul Heffernan is left out to make way for the return of Danny Handling. A goal scorer last weekend, Mark Oxley, with the kick out, helped on by Ilalagui. It goes Danny Handling, down goes Handling, and Willie Colum is pointing to the spot. Young goalkeeper Jack Hamilton booked. He's furious. He's claiming he got a touch on this, but he certainly careered into Handling, and Hibs have a chance to get themselves ahead. It's skipper Liam Craig from the spot, and he puts it well wide. Big chance missed. Didn't seem to make good contact with the ball, Craig. McCarthy looking to get it back from Nicholson, and was he tripped here inside the box? He reckons so. Penalty claims waved away. Billy King's corner. Forster gets it clear. Lofted back in by Gomez. Michael Nelson with a dangerous header there, and Sam Nicholson with the snapshot, which produces a smart save from Mark Oxley. Prince Boabend. Fouled surely by Robertson. Advantage played. Well, it might not be a yellow card the first time around, but I think for the second offence, clattering into Holt, Robertson booked. Another Hearts corner. Hibs get it clear. Jordan McGee. What a good strike that was from the young fullback. Seemed to take everyone by surprise. He controlled that so well. Sam Nicholson with the nutmeg on Scott Robertson. It's Nicholson! It's a spectacular opening goal in the derby. For 75 minutes this match has been pretty forgettable. It suddenly explodes into life with a moment of top quality. First the nutmeg, then a sizzler from Sam for 1-0 Hearts. Boabend looks to get beyond Robertson. Down he goes. Penalty. And the chance for Hearts to make the point safe, and it's a second yellow card for Robertson. Hibs are a man down and maybe about to go 2 goals down. There was the hand into the chest of Boabend, and enough reason for Willie Colum to say penalty. It's Prince Boabend, and it's the perfect penalty. Side-footed into the top corner, and he sets off in celebration. No chance for Oxley. It was placed where the goalkeeper wasn't going to get to it. 2-0 Hearts. Robbie Nielsen on the brink of a derby win. In from Craig. Ilalagui has missed a great chance to bring this game back to life. Jack Hamilton makes the save, but he really shouldn't have stood a chance. Down goes Nelson holding his face, and across comes Willie Colum with a red card for Osmond. So he threw out that right arm into the face of the Hibs defender, and so's match is over. Ozturk clears for Hearts. Back it comes from Nelson. That's Danny Wilson. Flicked over his head by Elalagui, great strike. Really good goal in stoppage time at the end of the match. And had he scored with that earlier header, this could have been very interesting. As it is, the former Falkirk striker scores for 2-1. A bit more jittery than it was for Craig Levine, the director of football. Hearts looking to soak up some time. Well, did Stevenson stamp on Walker? And was that an attempted headbutt from Walker on Stevenson in response? It was an angry reaction.
I thought it was very tight and competitive, and there was a lot of tackles flying in, and some bits of football broke out now and again, but the majority it was very tense. And to be honest, it's a full house here and a big atmosphere, and a lot of pressure on both teams. But I knew that we know that after once the game dies down a little bit after 60-70 minutes, then we've got the players that can get into areas that can cause problems, and Sam showed that. He's got great ability and great technique, and if he gets into those kind of wee pockets, then he can produce things like that for us.
I didn't think there was an awful lot in the game. I thought we were controlling it. I didn't think they were hurting us at times. We've probably a bit of ill disciplines probably cost us. The penalties is obviously a penalty. The lads had a good strike, but it's disappointing. It really is.
It was a great result for Hearts. It was a scrappy game, packed full of controversial incidents, and Jack Hamilton, Mark, the third choice keeper for Hearts, thrust right into the controversy right away. Was it a penalty?
It's an interesting one, because it looks to me like he gets a touch here. It's a split-second decision for the referee, but I think he gets a touch on that there, so very harsh.
Pat, what was your view?
I didn't expect a penalty to be given there. I can understand why Willicombe gave it, because he's dived out really quickly, but to be absolutely fair, I wouldn't expect a penalty to be given. I think young Jack was unlucky there, but he got lucky with the penalty.
He had a good game overall. Let's look at the penalty, because it wasn't Liam Craig's finest hour.
No, it wasn't. The interesting thing about it is a lot of players now are actually now looking ahead and not looking at the ball. He doesn't look at the ball at any point. Because of that, it comes off his heel. And the reason why they're doing it these days is because they know the keepers can move and move a lot along their line. So they're trying to wait for the keeper to move. The thing is, you better make sure that you catch it right when you do that. And that's what happened to Liam there. He got it wrong in that case. But hey, lots and lots of other guys have got it wrong. But it would have been slightly unfair in Hearts at that point in time, because I didn't think it should have been a penalty.
It was a typically blustery sort of Edinburgh derby, Mark, and it was crying out for a moment of magic, and, well, Sam Nicholson produced, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the best of games, and like you say, it was crying out for that little bit of quality, and you see him here, he looks lively, pops it off, but just there, finds that little pocket of space, a lovely little nutmeg, and to take it on from here, shows the confidence in the boy. What a fantastic goal.
Right, that's just a sublime moment. I know you have Hibs sympathies, but that's a great goal, isn't it?
Nah, it's a fluke. Oh, it's a brilliant goal. A real joy to see it. And this one, again, there's no bias here at all. That's basically bundled off the ball. Mark and I were chatting before. I think it's a bit harsh for a yellow card, to be honest, to get a second yellow card and be sent off for that. But this is how to take a penalty kick. High, really strong. But especially if you're a goal up at that point in time, it's a little bit easier for them. There's less pressure on. But that was definitely a penalty, and the referee got that one right. Yeah,
it became a more intriguing match as it went on. Hearts held on for the victory, Mark. Are they now early favourites for the championship? 2 matches in.
2 matches in. It's early doors, to call that just now. But I mean, a very impressive start. You couldn't get, 2 harder games going to Ibrox and then a derby. So I mean, fantastic for Robbie Nielsen. He'll take, huge confidence from that.
So will be a miss. He got sent off. He'll be suspended presumably for a bit. Pat, but I mean, who do you see Hearts as the most organised looking side so far?
Yeah, I mean, good start. Look very, very strong at the start. But that's the problem you've got with Hearts and Hibs as well. A lot of dependency and maybe one striker. Both of those teams need another striker who's going to get a few goals for them. If they can do that, then they can challenge Rangers, who I still think are favourites.